The first warning came as a soft chime. Research vessel Lumen Drift had been quiet for days, the kind of quiet that made even trained minds start to invent sounds. The crew of 6 had crossed an empty band of space where the stars looked sharp, cold, and too far apart. Then the chime repeated. Navigator Set pulled his eyes from the hollow map. His 4 fingers tightened on the console edge. The display in front of him flashed a new marker. Unregistered habitable world. Auto-scan in progress. Captain Vera did not speak at first. She watched the scan bars fill. She watched the numbers climb. Her face stayed still, but her throat plates rose and fell faster. Science Officer Rule made a small clicking sound, the Corthian way of showing interest. A new colony marker, out here. It is not on any chart, Set said. Medical Officer Tan leaned closer. Atmosphere reading? The ship's sensors poured data into the room. Pressure, gas mix, temperature bands, magnetic field, gravity. Then the alarms changed. Not loud, not yet, but the color shifted. Yellow, orange, red. Rule's eyes widened. Gravity at surface, 1.0. Set blinked. 1.0 what? Rule stared at the unit. Standard gravity units, 1.0. That is not possible for a living world in this region. No known life holds that load without heavy structural support. Captain Vera finally spoke. Earth. The ship pulled the name from an old, dusty record, a rumor from deep archives, a dead file that most crews laughed at, a world from a forgotten border note. Tan's voice came out dry. I remember this, a myth, a warning for cadets. Rule did not laugh. He kept reading. Oxygen, 21%. Silence hit the bridge like a physical weight. Set swallowed. That is a fuel gas. Tan nodded once. Reactive, toxic for most known biology. Long exposure burns tissue. It ruins delicate lungs. It corrodes. The ship chimed again. Hazard classification running. The holomap zoomed in. A blue-white sphere filled the central display. Clouds moved fast across it. Ice caps glared like exposed bone. Then the classification result appeared. Category 12, Deathworld, landing not advised. Captain Vera held her gaze on the number. Category 12 meant something most beings only read about. It meant gravity that crushed, weather that hunted, disease that adapted, life that fought everything, even the air. Rule spoke softly. If this is correct, there should be no complex life on the surface. Set nodded. No cities, no signals, no technology. A new line of text appeared beneath the classification. Biosignatures detected. Set stared. That is a mistake. Tan's crest lifted. The air is poison. The gravity is high. The ultraviolet output is violent. It does not match. Rule tapped in commands. I will rerun the scan. The ship complied. And the scanners screamed. Not in sound, but in color and distortion. The displays jittered. Lines of data broke apart. The ship's central computer tried to load the Lifeform database. It paused. It paused again. Then it printed a single message across the main screen. Error. Unknown Lifeform. Set felt his stomach tighten. Unknown on a Category 12? Captain Vera's claws clicked on the armrest. Show me the surface. A live optical feed opened. It should show wild terrain, dead rock, storm clouds, maybe primitive plants clinging to cracks. Instead, it showed light. A line of bright points along a dark curve, too organized to be fire, too steady to be lava. Cities. Rule's voice broke. That is artificial illumination. Tan made a low sound of fear. No. The camera view shifted. It zoomed. It passed over grids, roads, towers, moving dots. Traffic. Set whispered. There is an advanced species living in poison.
Captain Vera's eyes narrowed. Or something else is wearing the planet like a shell. Rule pulled up signal scans, radio bands, laser comms, low-orbit transmissions. The ship's sensors caught millions of signals, languages, music, weather reports, emergency alerts, human voices layered and constant. The computer tried to label them. It failed again. Error, unknown life form. Tan leaned back slowly, as if the chair could protect him. The database does not recognize their biology. It cannot map it. Set forced himself to breathe. We are not cleared for contact. Captain Vera did not answer right away. Her ship had one mission: research the edges, confirm rumors, return with proof. This was proof. Rule zoomed further. The camera found a coastline. Water moved in waves that looked thick and heavy. Clouds stacked high above it like a wall. A storm front rolled in. Lightning flashed. Wind patterns twisted. Set watched the storm and felt a new fear. That weather system would tear a light craft apart. And yet they built cities under it, Rule said. Tan turned his head to Captain Vera. We leave. Vera held her silence. The ship drifted closer. The planet grew larger. The magnetic field pushed against their hull like a slow hand. The chime returned. Another warning. Microbiology density extreme. Pathogen risk maximum. Tan's voice went sharp. Captain, we cannot even breathe near this world. We cannot touch it. We cannot land. We cannot risk it. Rule spoke over him. We can deploy drones. No direct contact. Remote only. Captain Vera made a decision. Launch 1. High altitude. Passive scan. Set's fingers moved. The drone bay opened. A small sphere, layered with sensors, slid out into space. It ignited a silent thruster and dropped toward the blue-white surface. The crew watched its feed. At first, the drone showed clouds. Then it pierced through them. The image sharpened. Green and brown land, rivers, buildings, roads, more lights, more movement. Then the drone's hazard detectors began to spike. Oxygen exposure warning, corrosion risk, thermal shock. The drone rotated, searching for a clean view. It found an open area, a flat plain with markings, a landing field, and near it a group of figures, bipeds. They stood upright, 2 arms, 2 legs, no visible shell, no carapace, no pressure suit. They wore thin layers of fabric. Some had bare head skin visible, no helmets, no filters. Set stared until his eyes hurt. They are outside. Tan's voice went weak. In open air. Rule zoomed in. The drone's camera tightened on one figure. It was smaller than most predators known to the galaxy. It had no fur, no scales, no visible armor. Its face turned toward the drone, and it smiled. It pulled its lips back and showed its teeth. Tan recoiled so hard his chair legs scraped. Predator display. Set's throat went dry. It knows the drone is there. Rule whispered, "How?" The drone's software attempted a classification sweep. It measured limb ratios, heat output, walking balance, muscle density. The screen flickered. Then it dumped the results. Error, unknown life form. The human, which is what the old file called them, raised one arm and waved. Waved. A casual greeting. Captain Vera's spine tightened. A predator did not greet. A predator hunted. A predator watched from cover. But this creature stood in poison air under crushing gravity and waved at a visitor in the sky like it was a neighbor. Set said, "Captain, it is inviting us." Tan snapped, "Or marking us." The drone dropped lower, not by command. Wind grabbed it. Turbulence shoved it sideways. The feed shook. The drone fought to stabilize. Then another signal struck it. Not a weapon, a radio burst, a tight beam. A human transmission locked on the drone's frequency, as if they had guessed the protocol. Sound came through the speakers. At first it was harsh, broken, full of sharp pulses. Then it smoothed as the ship auto-translated patterns. Words formed, incomplete, rough. Hello, unknown aircraft. Identify. You are in restricted airspace. The bridge went silent again. Rule's eyes shone with fear and wonder. They're talking to us. Captain Vera spoke slowly. They have detection, tracking, translation ability, fast. Tan's crest flattened. We should not answer. Set watched the human below. The human looked up, still smiling, and pointed at the drone like it was a toy. Then the human did something that made Set's stomach drop. The human walked forward under the drone's path, stepped into open ground, and picked up a heavy metal object.
The bridge lights dimmed as the incoming transmission locked onto the hull. Captain Vera stood still. No one moved. No one breathed too fast. The signal did not come from the surface. It came from orbit, from behind them. Seat's hands shook over the console. There's a vessel in high orbit. It was masked by the magnetic interference. It was watching. Rule leaned forward. Size. Smaller than us, but armed. Defensive grid active. Tan whispered, "They let us enter." The main display flickered. The alien ship's translator began its slow work. Patterns formed. Audio sharpened. A calm voice filled the bridge. "Unknown vessel, you are inside restricted planetary orbit. Identify yourself. State intention." The voice did not shout. It did not threaten. It sounded steady, controlled. That frightened Vera more. Rule spoke softly. Their language structure is adaptive. They are shifting tone for clarity. Seat pulled up atmospheric data again, as if he needed proof this was real. Oxygen levels still stable at 21%, nitrogen dominant, trace gases minimal. Tan hissed quietly. They are breathing explosive gas as a primary life support element. Captain Vera answered the transmission. "This is research vessel Lumen Drift of the Corthian Collective. We did not know this world was inhabited." Silence. Then the human voice returned. "You are above Earth. We are inhabited. You dropped a drone over controlled airspace. That is not polite." Rule's crest lifted. Polite. The word echoed strangely on the bridge. Captain Vera kept her tone steady. "We meant no harm. Our instruments classified this planet as Category 12, Deathworld. We assumed no complex life." A pause. Then something unexpected. Laughter. Not loud, not cruel, just short and sharp. "Yeah," the human voice replied. "We get that a lot." Seat felt something twist inside him. They know. The ship's science module started running deep atmospheric simulations. Oxygen reactivity curves filled the screen. Combustion charts glowed red. Rule spoke carefully. "Captain, oxygen at this concentration is highly reactive. It accelerates combustion. It damages organic tissues not adapted to it." Tan added, "Long-term exposure causes oxidative stress, cellular decay, structural breakdown." On the screen, a new feed opened. The human orbital craft sent them a live view of Earth's surface. Cities, forests, oceans, cloud systems spiraling with violent energy, and across it all, millions of heat signatures. Rule's voice dropped. "They are thriving in it." The human voice spoke again. "Your drone recorded civilians. You are lucky it wasn't a military zone." Seat swallowed. "Military?" Captain Vera responded, "Your atmosphere is toxic to most known species. Your gravity is extreme. Your biosphere is hyperdense. How do you survive?" There was a longer pause this time. Then the answer came. "We evolved here." Simple, direct. Rule pulled up human biology from scraped signals. The database tried again to build a profile. The screen flickered. "Error.
Unknown life form. The human voice continued, calm. You're scanning oxygen like it's a weapon. For us, it's normal. Our cells use it for energy. Tan almost snapped. Energy release from oxygen at that scale damages molecular chains. Seat looked at the energy models. Unless their biology is built around managing that damage. Rule whispered, repair cycles, constant repair. The human orbital craft shifted position slightly, not aggressive, just adjusting. You are not broadcasting hostile intent, that is good, but you are sitting in orbit without clearance, that is bad. Captain Vera glanced at her crew. We request permission to observe from high orbit, only, no landing. Silence. Then a different human voice entered the channel, female, firm. Observation allowed, limited. You will not deploy devices. You will not enter atmosphere. You will transmit all scan data to our oversight. Seat blinked. They are controlling us. Rule corrected him quietly. They are setting terms. Captain Vera inclined her head slightly, even though the humans could not see the gesture clearly. Agreed. Permission codes transferred. The tension on the bridge eased only slightly. Below them, Earth rotated slowly. Storm systems crawled across oceans. Lightning lit up cloud towers taller than some alien cities. Rule focused sensors on one storm cluster. Wind speeds exceed 200 surface units. Electrical discharge extreme. Seats stared at the ground beneath that storm. Traffic moved. Lights stayed on. Humans walked outside. Tan's breathing grew shallow. Their nervous systems must tolerate high electrical interference. Rule nodded, and rapid pressure shifts. The human orbital craft sent additional environmental data, surface temperature ranges, microbial density, radiation exposure levels, all of it high, all of it dangerous. Captain Vera asked quietly, "How often do your storms cause extinction events?" The human voice answered with dry humor, "Frequently enough to keep things interesting." Seat did not understand the tone, but he felt the meaning. Rule switched to biological observation mode. A live feed from a coastal city filled the display. Humans walked in groups. Some ran, some carried objects, some simply stood and spoke to each other. One human lifted a container to his mouth and inhaled. Rule zoomed in. He is drawing oxygen directly, no filter. The human exhaled slowly. A white vapor cloud formed in the cooler air. Tan watched closely. No visible distress. Another human nearby lit a small combustion stick. Flame appeared. Open flame in oxygen-rich air. Seat flinched. Ignition risk. But the human held the flame casually, used it to light something else, inhaled smoke, exhaled, alive. Rule whispered, "They play with controlled fire in an oxidizing atmosphere." Captain Vera's mind worked through it. High gravity builds dense muscle, dense bone, strong connective tissue. Rule nodded. Constant oxygen exposure drives efficient repair systems, strong metabolism. Tan added slowly, "Their immune systems must be extreme to survive that microbial density." On the screen, two humans collided playfully. They pushed each other, laughed. One fell, hit the ground hard, stood up without visible injury. Seat spoke softly, almost to himself. "They are built by suffering." The human voice interrupted again. "You're quiet up there." Captain Vera responded, "We are analyzing." "Try not to analyze too hard. You might hurt your head." There was that strange tone again, humor. Rule leaned back slightly. "They show no visible fear." Tan corrected him, "Or they hide it well." Suddenly, Seat's console flashed red. "Captain, orbital debris cluster incoming. Natural rock, small but fast." The human vessel moved immediately. Thrusters fired. It adjusted course. The human voice spoke with calm urgency. "Minor meteor swarm. Happens. Adjusting path. Rule's eyes widened. Happens. The debris field skimmed the upper atmosphere. Some fragments burned bright. Below, humans on the surface pointed at the sky. They watched falling fire like it was a show. Tan's breathing grew shallow. They live under constant bombardment. The meteor fragments that did not burn up hit the ocean. Impact plumes rose. Minutes later, surface vessels moved toward the impact zone. Humans investigating, not hiding. Seat whispered, "They run towards danger." The human voice returned. "See, we're fine." Captain Vera asked the question that had been forming in her mind since first scan. "Why are you not extinct?" Silence filled the channel, longer than before. Then the answer came. "We evolved here." Simple, direct. Rule pulled up human biology from scraped signals. The database tried again to build a profile. The screen flickered. Error. Unknown life form. The human voice continued, calm. "You're scanning oxygen like it's a weapon. For us, it's normal. Our cells use it for energy." Tan almost snapped. Energy release from oxygen at that scale damages molecular chains. Seat looked at the energy models. Unless their biology is built around managing that damage. Rule whispered, "Repair cycles, constant repair." The human orbital craft shifted position slightly, not aggressive, just adjusting. "You are not broadcasting hostile intent. That is good. But you are sitting in orbit without clearance. That is bad."
The bridge lights shifted to emergency amber. Tan moved first. Oxygen trace confirmed. It is minor but present. Captain Vera turned slowly. Source. Seth pulled up internal maps. Airlock Chamber 2, the drone retrieval day. Rule felt his lower limbs tense. The drone. The broken drone had been pulled back minutes earlier. Damaged from turbulence and close-range human inspection, it had passed through decontamination cycles. Clearly not enough. Tan's voice was tight. Even small oxygen presence can destabilize our internal balance. It reacts with trace compounds in our system. Captain Vera made a fast decision. Seal Chamber 2. Vent it. Seth executed the command. Bulkheads locked. Atmosphere cycled out. The oxygen trace vanished, but the fear stayed. Rule stared at the readings. Their air tries to enter us. Below them, the 3 human escort craft held formation. The human orbital vessel spoke again. "Your drone was leaking when it returned. We detected microventing. That's probably your oxygen trace." Captain Vera answered slowly. "Your atmosphere penetrated our drone casing." "It does that," the human voice replied. "It gets everywhere." Rule felt unease at the casual tone. Tan straightened slightly. "Captain, we must avoid further contamination. No more drones." Captain Vera agreed. "Understood." There was a pause on the channel. Then the human orbital craft transmitted a new packet. "Fine. We'll do controlled contact. Surface, remote zone. You stay sealed. We stay at distance." Tan stiffened. "Captain." Vera lifted a hand. "Continue." The human explained coordinates. A coastal research facility. Isolated. Monitored. "We will send one team. No weapons visible. You send one representative. Fully sealed. No exposure." Rule's mind raced. Direct observation would give unmatched data. Tan's crest flattened. "It is dangerous." Captain Vera looked at each of them. "We came for answers." Silence. Then she gave the order. "Prepare controlled contact." Hours later, Lumen Drift hovered in high orbit while a small descent shuttle separated and entered Earth's atmosphere. Inside the shuttle sat Rule. Fully sealed in layered hazard shell, external oxygen barrier active, gravity compensators straining. The descent was violent. Heat built around the hull. Atmospheric friction screamed across the craft. Rule felt pressure push into his bones. "This gravity," he whispered. Seth's voice came through calm. "Compensators holding at 70% efficiency. Structural load high."
Rule watched the external display. Cloud layers parted, ocean stretched below. The shuttle landed in a flat zone near a long building marked with human symbols. Wind hit the hull hard. Outside, humans waited. 4 of them. No suits, just fabric coverings. One raised a hand slowly. Rule's heart pounded. The shuttle door opened with controlled caution. Rule stepped out. Gravity crushed him instantly. His suit reinforced his skeleton, but still the weight felt immense. He adjusted slowly. The humans watched carefully. One stepped forward, short brown hair, exposed face, teeth briefly visible as lips pulled back. Smile, predator signal. Rule forced himself to remain calm. The human spoke through an external translator device. "Welcome to Earth." Rule's translator converted it. "I am Science Officer Rule of the Corthian Collective." The human nodded. "I'm Dr. Elena Torres, Biology." Biology. The word carried weight. Behind her, another human carried containers, offerings, food and water according to the signal labels. Dr. Torres gestured to a sealed table placed between them. "Peace protocol. We bring gifts." Rule froze. Gifts. Tan's warning echoed in his mind. Dr. Torres placed a small, transparent container on the table. Inside were white crystals. Another container held red powder. Rule scanned them instantly. Sodium chloride. Capsaicin compounds. His suit alarm flickered yellow. High reactivity. Irritant. Tissue disruptor. Dr. Torres tilted her head slightly. "It's just salt and chili." Rule did not understand the tone. Behind her, one human opened a water container and drank deeply, inhaling oxygen-rich air while doing so. Alive. Rule extended a scanning probe toward the salt container. Data streamed across his visor. Sodium ions, chloride ions. In pure form, sodium reacts violently with water. Ingested form, unknown effect on Corthian biology. Dr. Torres smiled again. "You look like you're studying a bomb." Rule answered honestly. "For us, this composition could be harmful." She blinked slowly. "Wait, you don't eat salt?" Rule hesitated. "No." There was a moment of silence. Then one of the humans behind her laughed softly. Dr. Torres lifted the container and sprinkled white crystals onto her own food, then red powder. She took a bite, chewed, swallowed, alive. Rule's suit recorded her heart rate stable. No distress. Impossible. Driven by curiosity stronger than caution, Rule extended a gloved hand toward the container. Tan's voice echoed in his calm. "Do not touch unverified compounds." Rule paused. Then he made the mistake. He touched the edge of the container with his glove, just a light contact, but gravity shifted his balance slightly. The container tipped. White crystals spilled. Some landed on the outer seam of his glove joint. Suit alarm turned orange. Seal integrity compromised. Rule froze. Microgranules slipped into the seam. Inside his suit, environmental sensors screamed. Sodium chloride contact, moisture presence, chemical reaction potential. His breathing rate increased. Dr. Torres saw the change instantly. "Back up," she ordered her team. Rule staggered. His internal filters tried to isolate the contamination, but trace moisture inside the seam activated the compound. Ionic exchange spiked. Pain flashed through his limb. Nerve endings fired in chaos. Rule dropped to one knee under crushing gravity. Tan's voice roared in his ear. "Seal breach confirmed. Initiate emergency return." Rule tried to stand. The gravity felt heavier. His vision blurred. His suit pumped stabilizers, but then a second problem hit. Capsaicin dust, microscopic, airborne from the earlier spill. It entered the seam. It reached the suit's microfiltration line. It burned. Rule screamed. The sensation was like nerve fire, not lethal, but overwhelming. Dr. Torres moved fast. She grabbed a sealed hose from behind her. "Water flush," she shouted. Her team moved with precision. They sprayed neutralizing liquid over Rule's glove seam. Rule's suit flagged external liquid contact as high risk, but the water diluted the salt concentration, reduced ionic reaction. The capsaicin burn remained, but lessened. Rule's breathing slowed slightly. He looked up at Dr. Torres through the visor. She was not smiling now. She looked focused, concerned, not hunting, helping. "Why would you touch unknown compounds?" she asked calmly. Rule struggled to answer. Curiosity. She gave a short breath sound, not laughter this time. "Yeah, we get that too." The shuttle crew rushed forward and pulled Rule back inside. The door sealed. Atmosphere purged. Tan's voice filled the chamber. Vitals unstable but recovering. Rule lay back against the interior wall. His limbs still burned. His nerves screamed, but he was alive. On the external camera, Dr. Torres stood watching the sealed shuttle. She lifted her hand slowly. Not a threat, a small wave. Back in orbit, Captain Vera processed the data. Oxygen breathers, high gravity tolerance, chemical ingestion of reactive compounds. Seth whispered, "They eat what burns us." Rule's weak voice came over the channel. "They helped me." Silence. Captain Vera looked at Earth, at the violent oceans, at the electric storms, at the oxygen-rich air, at the creatures who lived in it and casually consumed chemical irritants for pleasure. Then she spoke quietly. "They are not careless." Tan answered slowly. "They are adapted." Rule closed his eyes inside the shuttle. He replayed Dr. Torres's face in his mind, the teeth display, the predator signal, but the hands that moved quickly to save him. Confusion settled deep in his chest. On the bridge, Seth suddenly stiffened. "Captain, surface signal spike." Rule forced himself upright to see the feed. Military craft, more than before, not escort formation, combat alignment. The human orbital vessel spoke again. "Your drone triggered a chemical emergency on our soil. That raised alarms." Captain Vera felt tension rise. "We did not intend harm." "We know," the human replied. Pause. "But now we need to talk about something else." Seth's screen filled with a new image. Another human, this one not smiling, teeth visible anyway, but eyes hard. The human spoke directly into the camera. "Why did your deep scan attempt to map our genome?"
The bridge of lumen drift went silent. On the main display, the new human face held steady. No visible fear, no visible anger, just focus. Captain Vera answered carefully. "Our deep scan was automated, standard protocol. We catalog biological structures when encountering unknown life." The human's eyes did not move. "You attempted to map our genome without consent." Rule, still weak but conscious in orbit, whispered over calm, "They detected that?" Seth replied quietly, "They blocked portions of it. Their cyber defense is fast." The human on screen leaned slightly forward. "For clarity, on Earth, attempting to extract genetic data without consent is considered hostile." Hostile. The word carried weight. Captain Vera kept her tone level. "We meant no harm. We did not understand your legal structure." The human stared for several long seconds. Then something changed. His lips pulled back, teeth exposed. Rule's heart rate increased instantly. Predator display, threat posture. Tan's voice came over internal channel. Security posture. He is asserting dominance. The human spoke while showing teeth. "You are guests here. Act like it." The teeth remained visible. Rule replayed earlier footage in his mind. Humans smiled when greeting. Humans smiled when eating. Humans smiled while performing risky maneuvers. Now this human showed teeth while delivering a warning. The contradictions strained alien logic. Rule whispered, "Predators do not expose teeth without purpose."
Captain Vera replied, "Perhaps on Earth, everything has multiple purposes." The human on the main screen spoke again. "You're trying to understand us." "Yes," Vera answered. "Good," he said. Then something unexpected happened. The human removed a patch from his uniform, a small fabric square. He held it up to the camera. "This is a mission patch, a symbol of cooperation." He transmitted the design data to the alien ship. It showed a stylized Earth, surrounded by small shapes, linked. "Why send this?" Vera asked. The human's lips curved upward again. "Smile. Because if we're going to share orbit, we might as well be allies." Allies. The word vibrated through the bridge. Tan stiffened. Alliance requires trust. The human nodded. "Exactly." Rule felt his pulse steady slightly. Humans offered symbolic gestures quickly. Fast bonding behavior. Pack bonding. He remembered the way Dr. Torres had acted when he collapsed. Immediate assistance, no hesitation, no calculation, like he was already part of something. Captain Vera asked carefully, "If we accept this symbol, what does it mean?" The human answered without pause, "It means you're under our protection while in our space." Silence. Seth whispered, "Protection?" Tan hissed softly, "From what?" As if summoned by the question, Seth's console flashed. "Captain, long-range detection, unidentified vessels approaching system edge." Rule shifted upright despite fatigue. "Origin?" "Not human," Seth replied. The human on screen glanced sideways briefly, receiving data on his end. Then he looked back at Vera. "You're not the only ones who noticed Earth." Tension rose instantly. "How many incoming?" Vera asked. Seth's claws moved rapidly over controls. 3, possibly 4, heavy signatures, military. Tan whispered, "Pirates." Rule added, "Or rival factions seeking a Deathworld asset." The human's smile faded, teeth no longer visible, face hard. "Looks like you picked a bad time to visit." Captain Vera felt the gravity of the moment. "You said you would be under our protection." The human nodded once. "And we keep our word." Below, human military craft began launching at accelerated rate. Orbital platforms rotated, defense satellites activated. Seth stared at the display. "They are preparing for battle." Rule watched the human's face carefully. No fear, no panic, just focus. Tan asked quietly, "Do we withdraw?" Captain Vera looked at Earth, at the storm systems, at the oxygen-rich air, at the impossible biology, at the smiles. She remembered the wave, the water flush that saved Rule. She made her choice. "We stay." The human nodded once. "Good." Then the teeth returned, but this time Rule understood it better. Not threat, anticipation, excitement, predator preparing for hunt. Seth's sensors spiked. Incoming vessels entering outer defense range. The alien ships were sleek, angular, armored. They transmitted no greeting. Weapon systems powered instantly. Human orbital defenses fired warning bursts. The hostile vessels ignored them. Captain Vera's heart pounded. Why would they attack Earth? Rule answered quietly, "Because it is valuable." High-gravity soldiers, oxygen richness, chemical tolerance, storm-hardened infrastructure. Earth was not just survivable, it was powerful. The first hostile shot fired. It streaked past human defense satellites, exploded near Lumen Drift's outer shield. The bridge shook violently. Seth shouted, "Direct fire near our hull." The human voice returned on open channel. "Stay behind us."
Human warships surged forward, no hesitation, no retreat, teeth visible in cockpit cams, smiles, predator smiles. Rule felt his confusion dissolve. They were not tortured victims of their world, they were shaped by it, and now they were about to prove it. Cliffhanger end for Part 4. Seth's console screamed again. Hull breach detected on outer ring, not ours. Rule looked at the screen. One of the human defense ships had taken a direct hit, and its pilot was still smiling as alarms flashed red inside his cockpit.
The human defense ship spun once in orbit. Flames trailed from its outer hull. Alarms flashed inside its cockpit. The pilot's face filled part of the alien display. He was breathing hard. Blood ran from a cut above his eye, and he was smiling. Not wide, not laughing, but steady, focused. Captain Vera gripped her command rail. "He is damaged." Seth's sensors scanned quickly. Hull rupture on aft section, pressure loss, internal oxygen venting into space. Tan whispered, "They are losing their life gas." But the pilot did not eject. He did not retreat. Instead, he turned his ship toward the attacking vessel and fired back. Missiles streaked across vacuum. Explosions flared. Rule felt something shift inside him. They fight while wounded. Another impact hit the human craft. This one tore open a larger section of hull. A glowing crack ran along its side. Seth's console pulsed. Structural failure imminent. The human pilot's voice cut across open comms. "Control, I've got a breach, losing section pressure." A calm voice answered from Earth Command. "Understood. Hold position. Repair crew launching." "Repair crew? In active combat?" Tan hissed. "That is impossible." On the main display, a small human craft separated from a nearby carrier. It moved toward the damaged ship. It docked briefly. Then something happened that froze the alien bridge. A human stepped out into open space. No heavy armor, no massive sealed shell, just a thin outer suit, minimal, transparent visor. He tethered himself to the hull and began crawling across it. Captain Vera stared. "He is outside." Seth's voice shook. "In vacuum." Rule analyzed rapidly. "The suit is light, not full isolation. It is flexible." Tan added, "Oxygen supply internal, but minimal shielding." The human repair technician reached the cracked hull. He pulled a device from his belt. He placed it against the breach. His gloved hands moved quickly, precise, confident. Debris from nearby explosions streaked past him. One fragment clipped his shoulder. He jerked slightly, then kept working. No hesitation. Inside the damaged cockpit, the pilot's breathing steadied. He watched the repair progress on his internal display, still smiling. Captain Vera whispered, "They expose themselves to vacuum and debris during combat." Rule's mind raced. High gravity builds dense bone structure, dense muscle. Their connective tissues likely resist decompression stress better than most species. Tan added, "And oxygen-based metabolism provides rapid energy output, fast reaction." Seth stared in disbelief. He is patching the hull with manual tools. On screen, the human repair technician secured the breach device. He activated it. A sealing foam expanded rapidly. It hardened under vacuum. Pressure stabilized inside the ship. The cockpit alarms dimmed. The pilot exhaled slowly. The human repair technician tapped twice on the hull with his glove, a signal. Then he pushed off and floated back toward the docking craft. Rule felt awe mix with fear. They treat vacuum like a hazard, not death. The human command channel opened briefly. "Breach contained. Return to formation." The damaged ship realigned with the others, still operational, still armed. The hostile vessels fired again. Human defense grids intensified. Energy beams crossed space. Explosions flared bright against Earth's blue curve. Captain Vera's ship trembled from shock waves.
Seth shouted. One hostile vessel breaking through lower defense ring. It aimed directly toward Lumen Drift. Rule's chest tightened. They target us. The human orbital commander spoke sharply. Alien vessel, move behind lunar shadow now. Captain Vera did not hesitate. Seth, execute. Lumen Drift fired thrusters and shifted position. The hostile craft followed, weapons charging. Before it could fire, 3 human interceptors cut across its path. They moved aggressively, close range, too close for safety. One human craft took a direct energy blast. Its shield flared, failed. The craft spiraled, but instead of retreating, it accelerated toward the hostile vessel, collision course. Seth's eyes widened. They are sacrificing, Rule whispered, or calculating. At the last second, the human pilot ejected. His escape pod shot free. The damaged fighter crashed into the hostile vessel's weapon array. Explosion. The hostile vessel's forward cannons went dark. Human warships finished it moments later. The escape pod drifted in space. The human pilot inside was alive, breathing hard, smiling. Captain Vera felt her mind struggle to keep pace. They risk themselves without hesitation. Tan spoke slowly. Pack defense. The concept solidified. They were not reckless. They were bonded. Each action protected the group. Earth, orbit, even the alien visitors. Another hostile vessel broke formation and aimed towards Earth's atmosphere. Seth gasped. They attempt planetary strike. Human command responded instantly. All defense assets redirect. Orbital cannons fired in coordinated sequence. The hostile vessel was forced to alter course. It fired blindly. One shot grazed Lumen Drift's outer hull. The bridge shook violently. Warning lights flashed. Hull integrity compromised. Seth shouted, "Outer ring breach!" Tan checked internal sensors. No oxygen intrusion yet. But then another hit landed, this one closer. The ship lurched. Pressure alarms began rising. Captain Vera steadied herself. "Damage report." Seth's voice trembled. "Microfracture in external plating. Atmosphere leak possible." Before panic could spread, a new signal came through. Human command. "We see your breach. Hold position." Captain Vera blinked. "What?" On screen, the same human repair technician who had patched his own ship detached again. He maneuvered toward Lumen Drift. Rule's eyes widened. "They are coming to us." The human reached the alien hull. He paused briefly. Then he began attaching a flexible patch device along the fracture line. He worked carefully, despite different material composition, despite unknown structural layout, despite oxygen supply limitations. Captain Vera felt something unfamiliar. Trust. The patch sealed. Pressure stabilized. Seth exhaled. "He repaired us." Tan stared at the human figure outside floating. "He risked his life for strangers." Rule answered quietly. "Pack bonding." The hostile vessels began retreating. Human defense forces pursued briefly, then returned to protective orbit. Silence fell across space. The human repair technician tapped once on Lumen Drift's hull, then returned to his carrier. The human orbital commander opened channel again. "You're stable now." Captain Vera inclined her head slightly. "You protected us." The human responded simply. "You were under our protection." Rule understood something important at that moment. Humans did not separate categories easily. Enemy, friend, visitor. Once inside their defined space, you became part of the system, part of the pack. Captain Vera asked softly, "Why risk so much for us?" The human paused, then answered, "Because you're here." Simple, direct, no grand speech, no negotiation. Seth's console chimed again, this time not hostile, not warning, a data packet from Earth. Cultural information, historical archives, medical cooperation proposals. Rule stared at it. "They are opening access." Tan spoke slowly. "They want exchange." Captain Vera looked at Earth again. Storms still moved across its oceans, lightning still flashed, oxygen still flowed like invisible fire, and beneath it all, billions of humans continued living normally, laughing, eating chemical irritants, smiling with exposed teeth, fighting in vacuum, repairing alien ships. Cliffhanger end for Part 5. A final message appeared on Lumen Drift's main screen. Transmission from Earth Science Council. Subject line: Let us show you why we survive.
The message remained on the main screen. Let us show you why we survive. No threat, no demand, just an invitation. Captain Vera studied the words for a long time. Behind her, Earth rotated in silence. Storm systems moved like living things. Lightning flashed across cloud towers. Oceans shifted with tidal force strong enough to crush cities. And yet, cities stood. Set broke the silence. Captain, do we accept? Tan's voice was cautious. They may reveal strategic information. Rule spoke slowly. They already know we are studying them. Transparency may be their strategy. Captain Vera made her choice. Open the transmission. The main display shifted. A human chamber appeared, bright, organized. Behind the central figure were holographic projections of Earth's history. The speaker was older, gray hair, lines across face, eyes sharp. He did not smile at first. I am Director Hoshino, Earth Science Council. Captain Vera inclined her head. Captain Vera, Lumen Drift. Director Hoshino nodded. You classified Earth as a death world. Yes, you are correct. No denial, no protest. The alien crew exchanged glances. Director Hoshino continued. We did not choose this planet. We adapted to it. The holographic projection shifted. Ancient Earth, volcanoes, asteroid impacts, ice ages, mass extinctions. Director Hoshino spoke calmly. Our world tries to kill us daily. Rule felt something tighten in his chest. We watched, he said quietly. The projection zoomed in to microscopic scale. Bacteria, viruses, endless replication. Your scans detected our microbial density, Hoshino said. That is correct. Most worlds cannot support this level of biological competition. The display shifted again. Human immune cells attacking pathogens, rapid repair cycles. Every human body fights billions of microscopic threats constantly. Tan's eyes widened. Constant internal war. Yes, Hoshino said. If our repair systems fail, we die. The projection shifted again. High-gravity stress testing. Human bone cross-sections. Dense, compact. Rule whispered, gravity forged you. Yes, Hoshino replied. One standard gravity is heavy. It shaped our muscles, our skeletons, even our hearts. The hologram zoomed into heart tissue. Strong, resilient, able to pump oxygen-rich blood under constant load. Oxygen, Hoshino continued. Your data marks it as unstable. It is reactive, Tan said carefully. Hoshino nodded. It damages us too. Silence. Rule leaned forward. What? Hoshino's lips curved slightly. Smile. Teeth visible. Our cells are constantly injured by oxygen. It produces free radicals. It breaks molecular bonds. Then why use it? Set asked. Because it gives us more energy than almost any other chemical pathway. The projection displayed energy yield comparisons. Oxygen respiration far exceeded low reactivity metabolism models. We trade damage for power, Hoshino said. Constant repair, Rule whispered.
Yes, our biology accepts harm as cost. The projection shifted again. Human soldiers in combat, not smiling now, focused, coordinated, pack formations. We evolved as social predators, Hoshino continued. Alone, a human is vulnerable. Together, we dominate. Images flashed of humans bonding with animals, with machines, with other species in simulation training. You call it pack bonding. We call it cooperation. Captain Vera spoke quietly. You extended protection to us immediately. Hoshino nodded. You entered our space. That made us our responsibility. Tan asked, even though you scanned our genome? Yes, Hoshino replied calmly. You were ignorant, not hostile. Rule processed that. Humans differentiated intention, not just action. The projection shifted again. Natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, pandemics, wars, cities destroyed, then rebuilt. We fail often, Hoshino said. We nearly extinct ourselves many times. The alien bridge went silent. But each time, Hoshino continued, we adapt. The hologram zoomed into neural scans, human brain structure, high plasticity, fast learning response, stress adaptation loops. Pain teaches us, he said. Rule felt the truth settle deeply. Earth was not a paradise, it was a forge. Captain Vera asked softly, do you resent your world? Hoshino paused, then smiled again. No. Why? Set asked. Because it made us strong. The projection shifted to show humans in orbit, space stations, exploration vessels. The same repair technician from earlier floated outside a ship again, laughing this time, while talking to another crew member. We do not survive because Earth is gentle. We survive because it is not. Silence filled Lumen Drift. The computer attempted once more to classify humanity. The screen flickered. Error. Unknown life form. Then a new line appeared beneath it. Probable classification. Adaptive extreme survivor. Rule exhaled slowly. Your world is hell, he said quietly. Hoshino nodded once. Yes. And you are comfortable in it, Captain Vera added. Yes. Tan asked the final question. If another species threatened you, what would happen? Hoshino's smile disappeared. His eyes sharpened. Then they would learn why we survive. The meaning was clear. Not arrogance, not threat. Statement of fact. Behind him, the projection shifted one final time. Human fleets expanding beyond Earth, colonies forming on harsher worlds, terraforming projects in progress. You think Earth is extreme, Hoshino said calmly. We call it home. Captain Vera felt something profound settle into her core. Earth was not a mistake in evolution. It was a crucible. Humans were not fragile. They were refined by suffering, tortured by oxygen, crushed by gravity, tested by microbes, forged by storms, and strengthened by bonding with anything that entered their orbit. Rule looked at Earth one last time. Lightning flashed again over an ocean. He no longer saw chaos. He saw training. Captain Vera opened a secure channel to the Corthian High Council. She began recording her final report. Subject, Earth. Designation, Category 12 Deathworld confirmed. She paused, then continued. Primary life form, humans, oxygen breathers, high gravity adapted, extreme immune resilience, high metabolic output, advanced cooperative intelligence. She hesitated, then added the final recommendation. Threat level, severe if provoked. Silence on the bridge. She finished. Diplomatic recommendation, maintain alliance,
Do not attempt conquest. Do not threaten human packs. Rule added softly, and do not underestimate smiles. Director Hoshino's voice returned gently. We are glad you stayed. Captain Vera inclined her head. So are we. Earth rotated beneath them, blue, violent, alive. The alien crew watched in silence as a storm system formed over a continent. Lightning cracked across clouds. On the surface, humans continued walking through rain, laughing, breathing explosive air, unaware of how impossible they really were. The computer displayed one final line. Error, unknown life form. This time, no one felt fear. They understood. Some life forms are not errors, they are exceptions, and Earth was full of them.